circle.
And then he can
Hit the interstate coming up.
He can go up through St. Elmo and take 27 all the way home.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He's out in Decatur.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do this.
Let me see what questions we're going to deal with here. Read your writing at all. Perfect.
I'm going to be out for a couple weeks in June.
Okay.
So Jesse's going to be coming in.
Okay.
So you're going to have to help him.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. You're going to have to do the radio show.
He literally just dropped that on me right now.
We talked about this 2 weeks ago.
It wasn't confirmed.
But somebody's got to do the radio show.
Yeah, but it wasn't confirmed.
We'll get you some guests that are talking.
Holy smokes. Okay.
That'd be easy.
What?
Only 29 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't talk 29 minutes. I overthink for 30.
We'll get you some good guests.
Okay. I just have to facilitate questions is what I have to do.
You know what you need to do is you need to get John on while I'm gone.
I can do that.
You and John could get in here and have a good. You guys can talk for 20. John can do the show himself.
John can, yeah, he can just talk to his other personality.
You just need to have questions.
Just enough questions. I can do that. I mean, I can get some good people, I think, in here and talk to
get
them.
one and then just find somebody else to get with you. But John, that would be a great
2 or 3 shows I'll have to do.
At least 2.
Okay.
I'll be out 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'll be back the second week, but I doubt I'll be wanting to come do the show.
Yeah.
I might be. I don't know. All right, let's do this. Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Home Solutions. Dennis Purvis with you, as always. Hope you're enjoying this weather this week and this beautiful Saturday morning. Hope whatever you've got planned for the day is going to be fun and eventful. Maybe you're outside right now getting ready to take off and enjoy all the outdoor recreation we have around us. Maybe you're starting some projects today on this Saturday. Maybe you're running around trying to scratch off some things off the honey-do list. Maybe you're headed out. Maybe you're in the car right now listening to us. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in, whether it's on the Mix 1041 app, maybe it's streaming online, it's in your car, in your home radio, or we'll even wave to everybody in Facebook land. I'm in here today with my partner in crime with Pro 93, Jesse Mathews in studio. Jesse, thanks for being here today, buddy.
Thanks for having me here again.
Yes, sir. So we have, as always, first we'll get our shameless plug out of the way. At Pro 93, we are your local general contractor to handle all of your home improvement needs, from the dirt to the roof. We are here to help you. And don't forget, not only can we take on that new remodeling project for you, or build you a custom house, or decks, basement remodels, whatever the case is, we are not scared. We also we're going to talk about today, one of our specialties is insurance work. We love insurance work. We are have a lot of it right now. So and it's as the storm season rolls in here, we'll probably have more of it. So, but don't forget that we're also a cleaning team. We've got Wendy, and our clean team is ready to go. We use green. You have green, environmentally safe, all natural cleaners available as well. For those of you that maybe are allergic or just hate that chlorine ammonia smell, we can use Melaleuca products that take care of that for you. Just give us a call, 458-4135. Ask for Wendy. She'll take care of you at the clean team and come out and do a free estimate, whether it's a one-time deep clean of your home or your office, or maybe you just you're moving in, moving out, or we use it a lot, post-construction cleanup, because our idea of clean, we've realized, is not Wendy's idea of clean, and it's probably not your idea of clean. But contractors, we picked up the big stuff, right? We make sure the nails are out of the yard. That's kind of our big thing. But Wendy will come make it look pretty for you. And we're still running our special right now through the end of June. If you buy a $100 gift certificate for cleaning services, you get a $50 gift certificate for yourself, and those are completely transferable. So take advantage of that. Give someone you love a week off and get your house taken care of. All right. So that said, today we're going to talk about, we mentioned it just a minute ago, we're going to talk about, to start, insurance. we've had just enough storms, just enough wind, and then between you couple that with fire and water damage, it seems like every other call we've gotten in the last few weeks, Jesse, has been an insurance claim.
It has been. It's been pretty busy with insurance claims the last couple of days.
And it's bad when we're starting to know we're dealing with adjusters for the second, third, and fourth time,
Right.
Which is great because we do our best to try to build a good relationship with them. But we want to talk about this first today is talk a little bit about the insurance process. And we've had some insurance folks on here before, and one of our good friends and customers is an insurance agent. And we've talked about just at a luncheon we were at earlier this week about the claims process. And so let's start there. So you've got damage. You know something's going on. You've had a catastrophic event of some sort, whether it's water or wind or hail or fire, whatever the case may be. A lot of times, with fire, water damage, most people aren't going to hesitate to pick up that phone call. But Jesse, talk about a little bit about the hesitancy. I know that luncheon we were at Tuesday, we've got a gentleman who is on the fence about what he's going to do about his roof situation.
Yep. So a lot of times the first thing you have to think of is, one, you have to get an idea of what the cost is going to be for the damages that are there. The reason you want to get a cost for the damages on the upfront side of it is to make sure that it's going to at least match or exceed your deductible. Because regardless of what the insurance approves, they're going to take out that amount for your deductible. A lot of times, insurance companies have a set cost, anywhere from $500 to $1,000. I've seen it up to $1,500 on just set cost. But then sometimes I'm hearing, and in this situation with our customer friend, he has a percentage based on the value of his property.
And I feel like that's something that's just a couple companies, and we're not going to call anybody out or say anybody's good or better than others here, but there are a couple major national carriers that they've went from that 500, 1,000, 1,500 like you would normally have to a 1%,
right,
or a 2%. A
1%, yeah, 1% of the value.
Of the value. Now, what's crazy is that has coincided, folks, with a record boom in value.
Right.
So as this housing market explodes and you're loving the value of your house, you may not like your taxes because of it, but you're liking the value of your house, you need to be calling your agent to check on your deductible. Some companies, they aren't giving options anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it is. So if your house, you think you have a $200,000 house, but all of a sudden it's a $300,000 house, your deductible could have just went from $200 or $2,000 to $3,000, which makes these kind of debates, you got to really do the math.
You have to do your due diligence. And this situation that I'm under is, I don't know if this house is going to get approved for a full replacement. So in that sense, I have to do an estimate as a contractor to figure out what's the cost to do the repair or the half replacement of his roof. Ultimately, you want to do a full replacement.
Yeah.
You really, really do, because of warranty issues and everything else that comes up. However, in this situation, I'm looking at it from the standpoint, is it beneficial for him to go ahead and file this claim? As a contractor, I'm in the middle. I can't make that decision for you. All I can do is just share with you the data and my understanding of what my experience has been over the years dealing with insurance companies.
And to be clear, for those of you listening or watching us today, so the situation is we've got a customer where the front half of his roof has taken a beating,
Mm-hmm.
an absolute beating. It needs to be replaced. There's plenty of storm damage to justify that. The issue is the back of his roof.
It doesn't show a lot. I mean, the way that the winds come and the way that the sun sets, he's taking a beating on the front, but not a lot that came through on the back.
So the question is how the adjuster is going to see it. And again, we can't make that decision. We can just give you all the data. So that's kind of the first thing you want to be. First step, I would tell everybody that's listening, if you have not reviewed your insurance policy in a while, you need to put that as a to-do this week. Call your agent. We're really lucky. We've got a couple agents that we work with our company and personally that literally give us a call every year to review that policy. I can tell you that is the most helpful, because if you're like me, I'm going to be completely transparent. You get that big pack, that big, letter-sized envelope in the mail, and it's a half-inch thick.
I don't read it.
You know exactly what it is. I don't know that I've ever opened the envelope. I know that's my renewal. I put it in the filing cabinet behind the one from last year. Well, folks, understand that you don't know if you haven't talked to your agent, you don't know if there's been a in-force deductible change. We had just recently another customer of ours that found out 2-3 years after the fact, because he didn't read through his policy, that his roof had been excluded from his policy.
Yeah, wow.
So understand, folks, that first thing you need to do is to have all the information and understand where we are and where you are as where your wallet's going to be impacted. Second thing is you need to get a reputable contractor out there. We would be happy to come out no matter what the damage is. You can give us a call, 432-458-4135, or check us out online, pro93homesolutions.com. Go to contact us, and you can get us directly from there. So you've figured out where your insurance is, you've got your update, and you've had a loss. Jesse, what's the next step that when you go out, we get the phone call, we go out, what are we looking for?
So as a contractor, I'm looking through the paperwork of what the adjuster has actually written for the cost of replacement, cost of repairs, for what the actual dollar amount is and what they're covering for that dollar amount.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that as a contractor, you're getting put back to whole, which is what the insurance companies are responsible for doing. They're not responsible for paying for anything that you wish you want on your house. Like if you have a architectural shingle and you want a designer shingle, they're only going to pay for that architectural kind shingle.
And if you've got water damage and your floors are messed up, if you've got linoleum, folks,
they're only paying for linoleum.
They're not paying for that new LVP you wish you were getting. So understand that you don't have to put that stuff back, but you as the homeowner are going to be responsible for that extra cost.
Correct. So I like to look at it from the standpoint on the contractor side to make sure there's enough money there there's enough money there to do what the insurance company is allowing you to do.
And understand, going in, we try to set a lot of expectations, and the number one expectation on any loss, folks, is the word supplemental. Supplemental is going to be the way. I don't know that we've done an insurance claim that we haven't had to do a supplemental.
Right. There's always something.
And it's not the insurance company's fault. It's not the adjuster's fault. But it's just like doing a big remodel. When you take sheetrock off walls or paneling off walls that's been there for 50 years, you don't know what you're going to see on the other side of it. The adjuster may have come out and done a nice scope. And understand, if you haven't done one of these, the adjuster literally, he gives a dollar amount to every screw that's going in the wall. Mm-hmm. Okay? Every piece of flooring he or she's got accounted for. Now, that's great, but they can only estimate what they can see. Mm-hmm. Until that's been taken out, the demo's done, any remediation that needs to be done for water or mold or smoke, folks, there's going to be things that they didn't see.
That's right. Yep.
And Jesse, talk a little bit about how you set that expectation and you know, your experience with supplementals and how insurance companies react to it.
Supplemental items are considered a change order. It's a change order back to the insurance company to say, hey, this was not discovered on the front end of it. This is something that we have to document. We have to take pictures of. We have to write it down. We have to get an exact dollar amount for the labor and the material, and we have to go specifically back to the insurance on what that supplement item is. If it's not documented with a picture, then it never happened.
Yeah.
And that's a good way. That's a good way for a contractor to be holding the bag at the end because they did the work. That's great, but it's just as important for us to document it so we can get paid on it than it is to get the work actually done. So it's a twofold situation. There's a lot of documentation that has to happen to work with the insurance companies, and that's why not all general contractors want to deal with insurance companies. In my opinion, as a business owner with Dennis, what sets us apart in a lot of ways is the fact that we will take on a lot of insurance work.
Yeah, and the big piece to that is, and we'll jump to the end here, as far as getting your check. Now, let's talk about this before. I know we're getting close to break here, but I want to talk about this for just a second. When it comes to the money part and getting your check, if you've already hired a contractor, chances are that check's going to come in your name as the owner and the contractor, which very simply you endorse the check, give that to your contractor, they endorse it. But understand that a lot of insurance companies will also, if you have a mortgage on your home, will put your mortgage company's information, your bank's information, whoever the lien holder is, on that check. Now, that is a little more cumbersome process. And again, another reason contractors don't want to wait. I know this week we got a check. Customer didn't even realize it had her name, our name, and the name of her bank. Well, what has to happen is you've got to call the bank, find the corporate office, find the closest person that can endorse for the company, and send that into them. So as a contractor, we know on this job we're going to be waiting probably another couple weeks for that money, which is, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong, is probably the number one reason contractors don't like.
I would say that's the number one reason why they don't.
And
want
I can tell you, we are thankful to God for the favor He's given us in these first few years of our business. But we're financially able to wait on that money. Some small guys, and we were there at the beginning. I'm not picking on anybody. We were there a few years ago, where every check made the difference of whether how the week was going to go.
Payroll or not.
Right. Yes. Are we going to make payroll? So understand that that's not a necessarily bad thing. But if you've got a big claim, you need to be with a general contractor that understands that they're not going to get paid the minute they're done. So listen, hang in there. I know this may not be the most exciting topic, but if you're in the middle of it, I promise this is the kind of stuff that just kind of takes over your life. So we're going to talk about, when we come back, we're going to talk about some questions that we get all the time about this process, but then we're going to talk to you about the questions you should be asking, not just your insurance adjuster, but your contractor, whoever you hire. Listen, hang in there with us. Don't turn that dial. We'll be back here in just a second. You're listening to Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz. Are you tired of going to YouTube or Google for answers to your home improvement questions? Maybe you have more projects than you have time. No matter where you are in the process, Pro 93 Home Solutions is ready to serve you. Pro 93 is a local, veteran-owned company offering residential and commercial remodeling, cleaning, and security. Contact us today at 458-4135 or online at pro93homesolutions.com. Let the pros at Pro 93 find the solution for your home or business. That's 458-4135. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking all things insurance claims on your home. Folks, we have, we get in here, we got Jesse and Dennis here from Pro 93. We thank you guys for being with us. I drug Jesse in because honestly, in our company, Jesse is because of his experience, not just in the roofing world, but in the remediation world and restoration world. He has probably the most experience on insurance, and I'd put his experience up to a lot of contractors in town. So it's a blessing to have him and working with me and us kind of guiding this ship. So we talk about insurance. Let me tell you some of the things and help me out here, Jesse. These are some of the insurance claims we've seen here just in the last couple of years. We have had multiple cars, trucks, FedEx trucks that have run into homes.
Right.
Ran right through, down in Chattanooga, ran right through the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet lady's house, let's just say, that was not expecting it. Went through, we've had a truck on an inclined driveway fall off a jack and go through.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, go through their bonus room. We've had drunk drivers going into the sides of homes. We have seen, oh, Lord, how many wind, hail, damaged roofs have you taken? Just guess in the last few years.
50.
Yeah.
Probably 50 to 60.
Yeah. Water damage, broken water lines you didn't know. Guys, here's your advice today. Go check your shutoff valves for your toilets. Your ice makers are the devil because chances are you can't see that line coming into your refrigerator, and that small drip that's happening at your ice maker right now, folks. Pull your refrigerator out of whatever spot it's been in for the last 10 years. Not only just, clean, dust it off, make sure your compressor's got some breathing room, but check your ice maker line. Those little drips over time turn into major subfloor issues and that water's going to run. We had one that had a busted line for just a couple days and ended up running the length of the middle joist of the house out towards the front of the house to where a whole lot of really nice hardwood floors that there was nothing wrong with until they start cupping because of the moisture underneath. So, folks, we've seen arson, we've seen fire, we've seen grease fires. What am I missing? We've seen some crazy stuff.
A lot of
A lot of toilets.
lot of toilet supply lines and toilets, supply
Yep.
lines, ice makers are one. Hot water heaters.
Oh, yes.
Hot water heaters, they blow up, they go bad, they'll start leaking really bad.
Check two things where there's always water. Check if your hot water heater's in a pan, check that pan from time to time. Folks, go find your air handler and your return in your house and look at the condensation pan. That thing gets filled up, and because sometimes that drain gets clogged, and all of a sudden you have no idea places where there aren't water pipes, there's not plumbing, and you're confused because you've got water. You start seeing those spots in your ceiling. Make a phone call. That's a bigger problem than just something paint's going to handle. So, folks, we've seen it. We can handle it. I feel a little bit like Farmers Insurance. We can handle it a lot because we've seen a lot, and that's really the truth. So, where does that leave you as a homeowner? Number one, whether you use us or not, there's a lot of great contractors in this town, and a lot of them are good friends of ours. And the ones that do insurance work, I can tell you, they do it with integrity and they do it well. So what are the questions that you need to be asking your contractor? Jesse, what do you think's first thing they need to be asking a contractor to see if they want to work with them on a claim?
You need to make sure that they're licensed, first of all, and that they're carrying insurance. Because anytime that you're inviting them onto your property, into your home, if something was to go bad or something was to get hurt, someone fell down, anything that happens at your house, you want to make sure that contractor's licensed and insured.
Yep, and it's not an insult. We never take it as an insult for somebody to ask us to produce evidence of our insurance. That isn't part of the game.
I invite it.
Yeah.
I invite it because that's something that we go above and beyond to actually show the person up front that this is our updated insurance, this is our updated license.
And I think the next thing is you want to, ask for some references. Ask for some other customers that they would be willing to give you to contact. It's kind of like, you're hiring. We joke around too. It's not just a contractor coming out trying to get your job. You're hiring to invite someone into your home. This is it's a pretty important interview process, right? So references are big. What else, Jess?
References are big. I'll piggyback off of that. Say references are good. Make a phone call to the reference that they're actually offering to you. If they're willing to invite you to their home and see the work that's been performed, we've had that done before.
We got a job with a very with a customer that was doing her due diligence, and we were lucky enough to have one of our former customers. Very similar job to the one she was wanting to hire us for, that was willing to invite her over. We didn't go. We didn't want to put anybody in that position, so it was very much they had the freedom to talk, and she called us from the driveway of our former customer and said, "Hey, I'm ready to sign a contract."
Yep, and that works out really well. Another thing to ask a contractor would be, depending on the size of your job, what's the pay schedule look like with your contractor? What's the expectations? Because you want to know the expectation from you as the homeowner on when you feel comfortable making a payment, and then you want to know the expectations of what the contractor expects. Because to be honest, a lot of times it can be two different expectations. So you both want to be on the same page with communication. Sometimes contractors will require a draw schedule, over a period of 3 or 4 payments, depends on the size of your job. Sometimes it's a down payment to get started, and sometimes it's just the deposit remaining money at the end. So it really depends on the size of your job, the size of the scope of work. Have a definitive set time schedule on once the contractor finishes up to this certain phase, that's the phase that you make the payment.
Those things need to be very, there needs to be, if it's a draw schedule, if it's more than just a deposit up front and a payment upon completion, if it's any more complicated than that, folks, and even that needs to be in writing, but if it's more complicated than that, there need to be definitive benchmarks. For instance, I'll give you an example. We're doing an addition and a big kitchen remodel for a customer. There is really, we took a payment up front for materials. We're taking a second payment once we get his new addition dried in. In other words, It's got
rough.
roof, it's got walls. It's not finished, but from the outside, it's safe from the elements. And then we're taking a third draw at the end upon completion, just for a matter of material prices. And listen, my caveat I tell everybody: there are 99% of the bad contractor stories start like this. I paid my contractor everything, and then I never saw him again.
Right.
There is not a reason, folks. Now, and especially on an insurance claim, because chances are, a lot of times, by the time the adjuster has been there and your contractor's been hired, you're going to have a check. You may have a check for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. Do not give that all to. I'm telling you, as a contractor, number one, I can tell you from our point of view. Number one, it creates we have a financial interest in completing your job as quickly and as efficiently as possible because we know we're getting paid at the end. Number two, think about everybody listening here has a story about some sweet old lady, some sweet man, somebody who just didn't understand, who got sold the contractor had a sob story of, I need to get this, I need to get materials, I got to pay my guys, and they just go ahead and write them a check because they can trust them. Even if you have a contract, folks, never pay your contractor up front.
Yeah, this is not smart.
It's just not smart for anybody, and I don't care what the reasons are. And if you got a contractor asking for that, you need to find a new contractor. That is really the only reason why anybody should ever ask for more than half. And Jesse, I think unless there's some sort of super specialty ordered material. I think we've done a little bit more than this in the past, maybe on some bathroom additions where they're doing like a custom clawfoot tub or a custom tile shower, something where you're getting something that you can't just go pull off the shelf. I can't call Wholesale Supply and just get out of the warehouse. It's something that's taken 6 weeks to get here, and it's a specialty item that can't be returned. So understand the money is very, very important. Get your stuff in writing. And I think lastly, you want to ask about a warranty. One of the things that I'm proud of what we do is we offer in all of our contracts a 1-year workmanship warranty, folks, and we do warranty work. We honor it. We don't sub it out. We don't send it to somebody out. We take care of our warranty work. I can tell you that we strive to be perfect and we strive to get it all right. But we're not perfect because we're human beings. We may be created in the image of God, but we're not God. And so when you have that issue, you do not have to hesitate to pick up the phone, call our office, 458-4135. Tell us what's going on. We'll check the file, check the dates, make sure it's something that we did. And then I'll have somebody out there within the next couple of weeks to get the problem resolved. If it's something that's turned into a water leak or something like that, we'll have somebody out just hopefully within 24 to 48 hours. So that's what we promise. And if that's something that you would like to have in a contractor, that's what you need to ask about. So we've talked about licensing, insurance, pay. We talked about references, talked about warranty. So Jesse, let's talk a little bit about we got a few minutes here. What's some of the most common questions that you get when you're out there dealing with somebody with an insurance claim?
The most common question I get is, can you do the work? Can you do the work based on how much money the adjuster has paid me to get this done? So one, is there enough money here to pay you is
Yes.
what the number one question is. And with that answer, I always say, well, I need to review the paperwork.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest pet peeves that I have, I guess, if I can share with that, would be that you don't want to disclose, the policyholder doesn't want to disclose what the insurance company has actually approved for them to get replaced. If we're not comparing apples to apples comparisons, it's really, 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 really difficult to read minds and really try to figure out what needs to be done.
Yeah.
There's different ways to skin a cat. There's different ways to get things done.
And understand, too, there's two words that you're going to hear a lot in a process. It's O&P, which is overhead and profit, which some insurance agencies disclose on their first scope. Some don't. So once you hire a contractor, they actually will add 20% because that's the profit for that. Folks, we're in business to make money, and I'd like to be here in a year to handle your next issue. So that's how we make it. And the second thing is depreciation. Some things are depreciated that you don't actually get full dollar amount for until the job's complete. So understand that it's not us trying to dodge or duck anything. It is, Jesse as a great example, it's apples to apples. We want to make sure that what we're looking at is what the insurance company's looking at. We know pricing, they know pricing, they try to stay as up to date as they can, even when these materials, and there are times where we've had to send in receipts to show materials, look, what you gave for this has went up 20% since you wrote this. Because there's times where we've come into claims that it happened 2 months ago.
Yeah, and we're in such a volatile period right now with material prices going up and fluctuating in price. Your adjuster may have been at your house in February for the issue, but by the time it all got settled in and ready, here we are in May. So by the time February on the initial inspection to the time where the contractor wants to look at the job, we're several months on volatile market right now based on material prices alone.
And you've read
so it's super important. And it's super important to just have that updated with new pricing, get it approved with the insurance company to make sure that the contractor and the insurance are on the same page.
And lastly, I think the thing we hear about all the time is, because people do read the news, is materials. I will tell you that it is a day-to-day surprise for us on the things we can get and sometimes the things we can't. There are times where we can call every lumber yard in town and we can't get a stick of lumber that we need. There are days where, I can tell you windows right now are sometimes 16 weeks out for custom windows. There are days that doors, there are doors that just aren't in. Mm-hmm. So understand that is another one of those things that's thrown into this equation right now, where it's be flexible, be understanding. Trust me, especially your contractor has a financial interest in finishing your job, so there's no reason for them to tell you there's a delay because of materials unless there is one.
Right.
That said, we're about out of time. So I hope we educated a little bit of education today, a little bit of fun today to talk about the what ifs, but folks, be careful out there. Jesse, thank you so much for being here today.
Yep.
Thanks for your expertise, man. Thanks for your friendship, and I'm excited about where we're headed.
I like it.
Listen, folks, give us a call, 458-4135, pro93homesolutions.com. We'd love to talk to you and help you with your next project or your next claim. God forbid that happens. But just remember, everybody, take care of your family, love your neighbor, and we're all in this together. We'll see you guys next Saturday. You've been listening to Home Solutions right here on Mix 104.1 and 101.3 The Buzz.